The moment when the IDF soldiers entered the Kotel, the Western Wall, during the Six-Day War, was one of the most significant moments in all of Jewish history. It didn't matter whether you were religious or secular, Jewish people were all crying tears of joy at the sense of redemption that had been achieved. But why is the Western Wall so important to us? What's the whole big deal about having the outer wall of the ancient Jewish temple? What do we even care about whether there is a temple or not? What even was this temple? The restoration of the temple is something Jewish people have been praying for thousands of years. Why? The acts of forming and serving in the temple, in Hebrew, are referred to as melacha. It's a type of work. Now, one of the other times we hear this word in the Bible is in the creation story. God's act of creating the world in Genesis is also referred to as melacha. Now, what's the connection here? Well, if you think about it, in creating the world, God, who is infinite, was effectively creating a world which operated within the confines he was not bound by: time, space, finiteness. In creating the world, God was making a home for man to exist in within his infinite world. Creating space for another. That is what melacha is: action that provides the opportunity to give to another. And while melacha in the Genesis story was God making a home for man, the temple was humanity's opportunity to build a home for God within our world. The laws of nature were suspended in the temple. It was said that all the Jewish people were able to fit in the temple during the holidays. The laws of the physical world were suspended in the temple because this was God's home in our world. The temple represents our desire to create a home for God in our world, a world where there is justice for all peoples, bountiful spiritual fulfillment, and intimate connection with our Creator, where kindness is practiced rather than struggles over power, popularity, and money. Our desire to rebuild the temple is our desire to make our world whole again. And while we might not have it yet, we know that our small daily acts are themselves the bricks that will lead to its rebuilding. Not everyone feels a connection when they go to the Western Wall, but if you recognize what it represents for us, if you remember the thousands of years of Jewish yearning that has longed for a more complete world, that we are now one step closer, but we still have more work to do, you can't help but feel moved, just like those soldiers were 50 years ago.